So, I hope everyone is here, ready to continue. And a minor change with the presentations. We will continue with Mrs. Leaoro from Foundation Innove. She will explain, I think, what it is. And she would like to talk about, you can see about what. So, welcome.
Thank you. So, hello to everyone. My name is, as I was said, Leaoro. I'm from Foundation Innove. Just maybe a few words for our foreign guests. That Foundation Innove is you could call it an agency actually under the Ministry of Education and Research, dealing with all kinds of issues, dealing with national examinations, dealing with general education, dealing with vocational education, and also we are the implementing agency for the structural funds. But today I'm not going to talk about all of that, but more about vocational education and the international projects we have started. So actually for 1 year, Innove has had now a Center for International Cooperation. We have, as you can see, 3 members there, including myself. And the aim of this cooperation center is to introduce and export Estonian education innovation and best practices to other countries, but on the other hand also to bring in the know-how from other countries to develop Estonian education system. And also, well, we want to improve the competitiveness of Innove, but also its partners, international activities and all the networks that are involved in that. Do you hear me? Okay. So here you can see the map with the countries. We have international activities or projects. Because as I said, we have been working just for 1 year, but of course we had international cooperation before that as well. But now we are getting more intensive, more extensive actually, and you would see that there is different countries we are involved in different projects or activities. Some of the activities are only in this first phase, you could say, the starting phase, but some of them are actually even concluded. So it is, well, you can see that, well, we have quite a lot of cooperation with the former, you could say, Soviet Union countries, and I think the reason would be that, well, we do share a common history, and so it's pretty natural that we work together. We had this experience that, well, of coming from one, well, you could say society and trying to transform into something else. This experience is very often quite valid also to the countries who want to go through the same processes. So what we have experienced through those 20 years is very often really very valid to the other countries. And also there's another bonus that apart, let's say, from English or German languages, we can also speak Russian very often, because lots of the people also do speak Russian yet, and so it is a common language we can also share. But of course, we are also looking at other countries. We want to learn from other countries. Of course, we are working together through Erasmus Plus projects with different EU countries, but we also want to extend to countries outside of EU, because we think that very often maybe this EU focus has, well, it is good, but well, we should see maybe a bigger picture, because there is so much interesting out in the world going on. Well, it's not only EU, so that's why we are looking also to other countries, and we are happy that we have also Japan that's been also contacting us to work together with us, and also Bahrain from the very far away countries we have been, well, cooperating with, and also, well, we are preparing right now a tender for Egypt together with some consortium partners. So maybe if we are lucky with a consortium, so we might be working also in Egypt. But then again, of course, we work together with the partners. It's not only Innove. This is where we involve other organizations from the education system, and of course our vocational schools in the project that involve vocational education. So just a quick look at the different projects we have in vocational education, well, right now, well, we have many of our good cooperation partners here from Georgia. We have been working with Georgia now for 10 years, even though Tallinn Polytechnicum was part or included in this project. I think it was since 2011. So, nevertheless, it is a very long cooperation, and I think both sides have been very happy about that. And of course, we are also now launching also a project in Kyrgyzstan, because they have said that, well, whenever I tell them about the Georgia project, everybody says, we want the same kind of project, you know. And so one day maybe, well, we will be able to have the projects commonly, meaning it's not only us being there as, let's say, the tutors, you could say, but we could also involve our Georgian partners, so you never know. Okay, so the knowledge exchange projects, so just some topics that we have been focusing on. It's like quality assurance. I think this is, as I always say, it's a never-ending strive in any system, in any school, in any country. So, of course, this has been one of the focuses also in our projects. Well, we have been working quite a lot on skills competitions, because when you have to think about attractiveness of vocational education, and it is a problem in Estonia, and we have put quite a lot of emphasis on making it more attractive and visible, let's say, well, in the society. So skills competitions is one way of doing it, and of course it is a little bit expensive way of doing it, but still I think it is a good way. Well, apprenticeship, the whole of Europe is thinking how to redesign their apprenticeship systems, and of course then again it's also part of our projects. And as I said, well, we also participate in consortiums, different consortiums, like those Europaid projects that are launched usually by the Commission. And there we work together with other countries, like we have been working together with Germans, for example, Austrians, to provide the, well, kind of joint expertise to the countries who are in need of this. And this is, again, we are, well, you could say in the very beginning of our road, but there again, it is, of course, necessary, and we want to work together with our vocational schools, because it's very often, it's a kind of symbiosis, a symposium of different levels. Very often the need is there for policy level information and advice, but also very much on the school level. And when it comes down to the school level, either be it management system, be it teacher training, so of course it makes sense, you know, to combine, you know, the experts and the know-how that we can provide. And especially as we are a small country, we have limited resources, limited number of people, so we do think it is a good idea to work together with our vocational schools. So just in general education as well, as I said, we are also dealing with general education foundation in Nova, and we have this education reform support projects also in Georgia. There we work together with UNICEF, and actually the UNICEF people are here for their study tour as of next week, and we will be sharing so our experience, because we are helping with revising the general education curricula in Georgia, but also, well, the teacher training programs in their universities. So it's kind of two parts to it, and different activities. But as I said, we are also part of different Erasmus Plus projects. Here is an example of this knowledge exchange project, Transversal Skills Development. It is an Erasmus Plus project with 16 partners. So of course it is well, we are in the very beginning of this project, but it is quite an amazing amount of know-how that has to be really well shared between the different partners. And here again, we do involve our schools, but this time general education schools, so it is with different ones. Also, well, something that is very popular, you could say, in other countries also is our language immersion programs, because since 98 or so, Estonia has been implementing language immersion projects with the help of the Canadians at that time. We have now gathered quite a lot of experience ourselves, And really, well, many countries are happy to use this experience also. And like, well, Central Asian countries are the ones that are very happy. And also we are advising and training also people in Kazakhstan, for example, on these issues. Okay. So just a few things more here, as we are also responsible for lifelong guidance, coordination, and actually providing the services nowadays as Foundation Innova. We have 16 centers for guidance all over Estonia in different counties. But there again, we have been cooperating with the European networks for a very long time, again since something 98. And you can see the names of those different projects. I would believe that many of your countries also might be partners in these projects. But well, for us, it has been a really wonderful opportunity to be always in the middle of the information, what is going on in lifelong guidance in Europe. And at the same time, of course, we have used this experience in developing our own system. But again, while with international projects, we are always happy also to give this experience also to other countries who would like to have it. And also ICT skills and materials have been developed under this lifelong guidance. And we have a web page where young people, where employers can get really information about career guidance. It's been really redesigned several times because it's quite a long period it has been working within, but it's also something that might be of interest to other countries. So it's not only papers that you give to people, but young people want to have ICT as a guide or tutor for themselves. So this system is something that could help. So here is just a breakdown of the different projects. I'm not going to go into these at this moment because we are short of time. And here is just the same what I said, that, well, we are partners with Tallinn's School of Polytechnics just in one project for the time being. Yeah, it is the Georgian project. Actually, there is one project that just ended. And there is one more project that is starting right now, already in December, so we can continue our cooperation. But I think this is not going to be the only one, right, Helen? So we should be seeing for more opportunities, involving each other in the projects, and really as a small country, I think this is the best way of doing the things. So here I finish my very brief overview of what we are doing. I will be happy also to be, well, if you have any questions right now or at any time, you can always ask Helen, or I think I don't have it, no, I don't have my email here. But, and if in case there is something that we could cooperate in, then we will be also happy, to always discuss these opportunities and see what we can do for that together. But when I come to Tallinn Polytechnic School, I always feel at home. And why? Because actually Foundation Innova, or its predecessor, started here. We had our 2 offices here at Tallinn Polytechnicum back in 95. Then we started to grow from 2 offices. It was 2 floors in a few years. And I remember the school was not too happy about that because you needed the rooms. And then we moved away from here. But still, of course, it is a kind of, a very, very nice atmosphere. And we like the school. And I want to give you a small token. So Kalle is not here, I guess. So Helen, would you be kind? A nice token for your anniversary, and all the best and for our future cooperation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ma võtan selle ka ära. Okei.
Aitäh.
Aitäh. Ma panen selle siit kinni. Yes. ja ma oleks praegu ära jooksnud selle peale.
Can I use it? Yeah, thank you. So, hello everybody. I'm Lasha Verulava. So, I'm honored to greet you on behalf of Education Management Information System from Georgia. Congratulations on your 100th anniversary. I think it's about 5 years. Our college has a relationship with Tallinn Polytechnicum School, and I can say this cooperation is very fruitful, and it's not just a business, it is the friendship between peoples. So it's very important for us. So once again, congratulations, and take our congratulations and the award of the best partner for our schools. Helen, please come in. Yeah. These awards for you, for your school.
Okay, with the cameras.
Please. Just once.
Yeah.
Once again. Thank you. My colleague Diana will make a presentation and she will talk more about our partnership. Thank you.
Well, hello again. I'm Diana. I represent Education Management Information System from Georgia. And today in my presentation, I would like to talk about the cooperation, Georgian-Estonian cooperation, and mainly between Tallinn Polytechnic College and Education Management Information System. What is EMIS? I'll make it shorter, and instead of Education Management Information System, I will say EMIS. Okay? EMIS is the legal entity of public law of Ministry of Education and Science of Georgia, and it has two directions, so to say. One big aim for our organization is to introduce and develop contemporary information and communication technologies in the education field. And the second big aim is to deliver the vocational education in the field of IT. So we have 35 state and 106 private colleges in Georgia, but EMIS is the only one that is specialized only in IT. But we have similar programs of different colleges. They have also some programs that we have, but EMIS is the only one specifically focused on IT teaching. Well, we have today groups of 3 specialties we develop and deliver for years. It is web technologies, computer graphics and animation, and computer networking and systems. Well, we have 2 times admission exams during a year, and I can say that the number of people who register and who take exams to study with us it is 4 or 5 times higher than the actual students we get, and so we have lots of students that are eager to study with us, but we don't have the opportunity to get all of them together. So we have it twice a year, entrance exams. And the number of graduates during the period of 2012 and 2015, it's 569. It's not a big number, of course. And employment index is quite big, I think. It's 70% during the same period. But actually, in fact, we have to say that from starters, half of the students graduate and get diploma and get national certificates because they are dropped out because of low marks mainly, or some leave the school themselves because they can't study. So the material and the practical job is really very hard and they can't do it. We have 35 vocational teachers, and we have lots of them younger ones. And we have invited teachers as well from leader enterprises and from state organizations as well. Well, about friendship with Estonia, it counts more than 9 years already. And we would like to thank Innove really very much, because thanks to this organization, we have started a new and European model of vocational education development, really. Until then, it was really very hard time, because in Georgia, the vocational education was completely destroyed. And we have started and renovated it together. It was revolution or innovation in education, in vocational education, I mean. Wow. The cooperation between schools, I can say that in 2011 we have started cooperation with this college, Tallinn Polytechnic School, and the cooperation between this period was really very fruitful, and we have lots of things that we are proud of, and we have done it together. We have organized and implemented the following. I want to focus on the Millennium Program, the master classes and presentations during the visits, and the sharing experience in modular system, modular programs implementation, and of course teacher traineeship program we are proud of. Well, this is the first year actually that Georgia has taken part in the Millennium Program, and I would like to thank Mr. Kooli really very much, because he accepted this proposal, and we are participating in the program together. And he did really great job that he accepted this proposal, and we would like to thank him for his effort and support very much. During the visits in Georgia, the representatives of the Tallinn Polytechnic School has made some presentations and master classes as well, Mr. Marco and Miss Helen, and also Mr. Toivo. Helen has made a presentation in this year while she was, it was the last visit in Georgia, and she introduced the educational system of Estonia. She talked about the programs, the statistics, the history of school, and she showed some nice video clips showing the whole life of school, this school, I mean. Marco has made presentations and master classes for the students of graphics and animation. He has done it 2 times for different groups and many times a day, I mean. And Mr. Toivo has made a presentation and demo teaching of MS Office 365. And there are some pictures of describing how we have worked together. Well, about modular program, we can name dear Helen. She really shares her experience with us because it's the first time and it's a new program for Georgia for us. And because vocational qualification development support program has developed qualification standards, and in accordance with these standards, we have developed educational programs. And this is the first year that we are implementing, and we have added through authorization 3 new programs. That is desktop publishing designer, web interface designer, and IT specialist, IT support specialist. Well, the main thing that we are really very proud of, 2 the different groups at different times of teachers were sent here to Estonia for teacher traineeship program. In 2013, boys were sent, 2 boys from our school. They are also our graduates. We have, by the way, lots of teachers who are our graduates. It's approximately 60 or 65% of the total number of teachers. And they have spent 2 weeks in Estonia. I think Toivo was the main host and boss for them. They had really a lot to share with each other because they are Cisco trainers, and they are also co-authors of the modular programs I mentioned previously. They attended also the lessons, and Toivo is just doing his lesson, and the boys were attending, and it's the picture of it. And the very good experience that the boys got from this traineeship program, they were really very happy because they had chance to attend Cisco CONET 2013 because they would like to thank the Innove and is it okay? Okay. And next group, and the final one, the teacher traineeship program in 2015. I also was the lucky one to have a chance and participate in the program together with my colleague, Katevan. She was a graphic designer teacher, and I was sent as an English language teacher, mainly a technical English teacher, I mean. And I would want to thank Innove, thank Tallinn School, and MIS as well for this chance they gave us. We have experienced really very much because we had the chance during these 2 weeks to attend the lessons that our colleagues were conducting, and the next week we ourselves conducted lessons too with the Estonian students. Sege remembers it, I hope, and also Marina, also Irina, she has left, and it was really good experience for us. Even I have some cooperation and correspondence with some of the teachers, and even we share some materials we prepare because the technical English course is really very hard to get a good textbook for it, and so we prepare materials ourselves quite very often, and we share it with Estonian colleagues as well. So there's some pictures of, besides the educational arrangements, we have some cultural events, and we attended lots of them. We were in the museum for sure. We also were in the opera, a very nice evening, I remember. And the students arranged a movie night for us, and they showed the film Mandarinid. Yes, that's a joint film, how to say, Georgian and Estonian film. Well, the quite good experience and good memories we have, and so to say, after these 5 years of cooperation between our school and Tallinn School, we can say that now we are friends who have a cooperation. It's vice versa. So we have started with the cooperation, and we are friends who work together. Thank you very much for your attention. Well. Thank you.
Thank you. The next presentation is from Norway. Our very good partner from Bergen. He will put you.
Yes. Is it okay? Good evening, everyone. Thanks again for inviting us to this, maybe it's a contact seminar. I made this title, Cooperation Between Tallinn Polytechnic School and OSA, and supported by the Noblesse Junior program. It was I will talk a little about this financing scheme. It might not be so interesting for all of you, but for some. It's you are used to Erasmus Plus, and in Norway we are lucky to have other financial support schemes as well. Yeah, you have seen this picture before this afternoon, or a similar one. And Tallinn and Bergen are sister cities. We are so-called the Hansa cities. So this is part of Bryggen, and these buildings here are from the Hanseatic times. Some information about our school. This is the picture of the school. We are doing some renovation, and we are about 1,000 students, 180 staff, 5 departments, and we are doing vocational education and the students are between 16 and 19 years. 16, 18, 19 years. So we start the vocational education in Norway maybe later than you do in Europe. I think maybe the students in Europe, they kind of choose earlier whether they want to prepare for university or whether they want to go for a practical career. And we have different kinds of programs, from technology, catering, media, design, healthcare, electricity and electronics. And also we have some special needs classes. They are linked up to the other fields. And the history with Tallinn, I think it was a connection between Ege and my headmaster, Inga. That was the initial link. And in the fall of 2010, we went to Tallinn for discussing possibilities for exchange. And we agreed that we would like to try to do some exchange within electricity and electronics. In Norway, the education in electricity are divided in the strong current directions for people installing things in houses, and in the electronic, the weak current. And I think the weak current is the most dominant here in the Tallinn Polytechnics. Okay, we sent in an application to the Noblesse in March. It was during my winter holiday, so I had to do some writing up in the mountains while skiing in the day and writing in the afternoon. And in June we got positive results, and then we have had projects for in 2011, 2012, and then there was a year we were not lucky with the application, so there was a pause for a year, and we have one we had one last year, and now another one this year. The 2 last years we have included media in the exchange. What kind of projects do we do? It's mostly a mobility project for exchanging students, giving students attractive learning opportunities, having visits for 2 weeks. So we have exchanged 8 students, 12 last year or 8. And we have had also a teacher exchange and accompanying stuff. And so the students have visited each other and followed the teaching in the classes, and there have been excursions and visit to companies, local companies. teacher do job shadowing and lecturing within the schools. We defined some special areas. We had some teaching in heating floor systems, and you had some teaching in lighting. And then we have private accommodation and social activities. We think it has been we have worked hard in order to have the private accommodation with a host and a guest student. And when successful, it adds to the exchange experience. So, but it's not always easy to manage that. Yes. I was kind of afraid to show pictures with all these expert photographers. But this is a picture from here in Tallinn, Norwegian students. We have been to this room today. Here is also from Tallinn. And I'm not sure what my teachers are doing here, if they are trying to manage. And this is from a visit at OSA last year, I think. Still happy after 2 weeks in Bergen. This is some information about the Noblesse cooperation scheme. And it has been a long tradition in Scandinavia for cooperation between countries. And in the beginning of 2000, the Baltic countries were included in this cooperation within education. So the Noblesse is the Nordic Council of Ministers' most important program in the area of lifelong learning. And more than 10,000 people in the Nordic and Baltic region benefit from it every year. And if you can see, this is the main website for the Nordic Council and the Noblesse programs. I have sent Ege the presentation so she can mail it out so you can have this address if you're interested, some of you at least. And you can see they have 4 different programs. They have for school and preschool, and they have for higher education, and they have for adult learning as well. And there is one transversal program where, for instance, a vocational school can cooperate with a university or the enterprise. And the Noblesse Junior, that's the program we use to finance the activities. And preschools, primary and secondary schools, vocational programs, as well as vocational schools and apprenticeships. And the program is for organizations and institutions that work with or have strong interest in compulsory education in the Nordic and Baltic countries. May participate as partner. There is also a language program within Noblesse, but that's for Scandinavian, to promote the Scandinavian language. We are only a population of 5 million in Norway, but together with Sweden and Denmark, we are about 18 million people that talk about the same kind of language. And Icelandic and Finnish are a bit on the side, but anyway. And as you see, there are different kind of activities, and what we apply for are mobile activities, and then you can have a bilateral exchange. So we apply for traveling for students and teachers. And it's not a very, what the finance, it's only support for traveling. So that's also why it's important to get the private accommodation. But in a way, it's a good thing, though. because you get more out of the program that. So, but we manage. You send me the invoice and I pay you, and I got money from the Nordic. Yes, you talked about experiences from this kind of activities, and I can tell you we have several experiences. I have two I would share with you. The first time we had you coming to us, it was kind of a disaster. We were not prepared, and things went wrong. So we learned a lot from this first visit, and I think we did it much better the second and third year. That was a very important learning for us, being hosts for other and trying to present our school and provide good opportunities for learning and experiences. And you had a long list of things I could say, oh, I should do this better, I should do this better, I should do this better. The other one very important experience is that, yes, this cooperation was initiated from the top of the organization. And mobilizing and including the teacher is maybe not always easy. So this was also a consequence of the first program. We hadn't been able to mobilize the teachers the way we should. But then, the year that we didn't manage to get the fund, the teacher came back to us and said, it's too bad, we should be doing this with Tallinn. So it can be worked around. And I think now the teachers, especially within electricity, they have been they are looking forward to this every year. But then the day is very busy, so these activities tend to be not in the focus all the time. That's something Ege has experienced, I guess, with me. But these two things, the teachers, they like to do this. The students are very positive, and I think it's very important for us to be engaged in international cooperations. We also have some other within Erasmus with Italy in other programs, and we have been doing things with Germany within technology. But we are always looking for new partners to do more of international work. So that's why I thought this also could be a little contact seminar. Ege friends could be our friends as well. Okay, thank you. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
that they weren't facilitated by their organisation to do these projects. Was that the problem at the very beginning?
They were not facilitated.
With extra hours or?
No, we did not think of it as a huge project that needed very much time to plan.
Ah.
But the planning was, well, we were kind of a little bit unlucky as well, because we thought it was a good idea to do something when the students were in the companies, but that didn't work out at all. So the next year we learned from that and had exchanged when the students were in school, trying to do more. But we saw that we needed to plan things more rigorous. Is that the proper
rigorously,
word?
yes.
And also the teacher, we were not having much experience with this kind of program within this department of the school. So, but maybe we should say this had to do with the leadership.
Could be.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Sigurd.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And the last one. Katrin will talk about EQVET. We have heard this combination before, so she will explain us what does it mean.
Ma loodan, et ma väga palju ei vehki. Okei. Okei.
Hi, I am Katrin Tammjärv and I am here as a member of Estonian EQVET team, but not only me, not only I. Helen too is member EQVET or EasyVet Estonian team, and when I need, Helen helps me with that presentation. First, Estonian Education Tree. You can't see that correctly, but strongest or basis is in Estonian tree is strong family. After that, all Estonians, kuidas on siis inglise keeles on? Child. Issand, mul on täitsa kokku jooksnud. Kindergarten. After that, basic school. After basic school, can study in vocational school or upper secondary school. After vocational school, people or children can study in higher education school or university. In Estonian possibility study in vocational school several times. Exactly when you finished the vocational school and you think that eriala speciality is not for us, tähendab vene keeles on see juba, then you can study again something new professional. That for education 3, but what is EasyVet? You all know? EasyVet. EasyVet, European credit point in vocational education. Same that EasyVet is linked to the changing in the legislation of the vocational education in Estonia. And in Estonia called that EasyVet ECAP, Estonian Vocational Credit Point. 60 points are given for the learning outcomes that are achieved in a year of formal full-time vet. One ECAP means for average student 26 hours of learning. That is working time for students. And in vet context is in Erasmus plus context. Our legislation changed in year 2013, so it's quite new. Not even 2 years ago it's changed. What is our background in EasyVet? The responsibility for EU or European Union initiatives implementation in Estonia are divided between the three foundations. That foundation is Kutsekoda, Innova, and Archimedes. OSA was here like Archimedes member, and you can see what is the different foundations teemad siis, topics, jah. What are EasyVet activities or our activities? First, arranging and organizing training and information days on ECVET topics. Second, translation and editing of ECVET materials. Third, school counseling in ECVET topics, mainly on Erasmus Plus mobility. Fourth, cooperation with Estonia Ministry of Education and Research, Estonian Qualification Authority, Foundation Archimedes and Innova. And research about ECVET principles distribution in Estonian vocational education. That was last activities. What are our achievements now? Again, first, all the information materials about ECVET or EasyVet principles are available for all interested parties. Since 2013, EasyVet has been in legislation in Estonian KÜS or vocational education law. Most of the mobility projects are connected with EasyVet, and for getting money, projects should meet some requirements, and that requirements first, learning agreement, second, mobility of understanding, it mostly, and learning agreement and memorandum of understanding are applied to mobilities. Topicality. ECVET or EasyVet, who called it, connection with curriculum reform. Our curriculum reform was last 2 years. We started with new curriculums this autumn. All the curriculums can be output-based, and ECAP introduction. Yeah. We have EasyVet in mobility projects, different projects, exactly HETA, ECVET, and STEFTA. And ECVET and RPL, that 3 topics we have. Why that ECVET so important for us? First, learning outcomes-based teaching is based on social constructivistic teaching pattern. Our legislation requires a credit point to be taken into account, and this, however, is linked to e-civet. To make learning in other countries easier, I hope so, credit points help us to agree learning outcomes between different countries. And according to our new legislation, national curriculum or curriculums will be developed until the 4th level in national qualification framework. Here you can see our qualification framework, and you can see where is VET qualifications. What is our challenge? First, changed teaching treatment, student-centric, not as pace, but dominating education methods. Teachers will be ready for changing the mentality. And last, learning outcomes like a common language with the employers. Here I am finished. You can see in that slide we have the home list address where all the different materials are different materials and contacts. We have many people who are members of e-civet Estonia team.
Well, I help a little bit, Katrin.
Yeah.
We have about 10 plus EQUAT team members in Estonia, and of course now you understand why Ege and Helen will write in every project EQUAT learning outcomes, EQUAT learning agreement, EQUAT memorandum of understanding. We have to do it to get the money, of course, and it's our how it is. It's a successful project contains these sentences. And it's quite new for us. It's EQUAT in Finland. It's already a lot of times. But nowadays it's third year here officially. And we have to manage it in every topic in vocational education. And now it's important for us. And I'm very thankful that you all agreed to sign these learning agreements and memorandums of understandings. Well, thank you, Katrin.
Here you can see our different contacts, different foundation people. Here is different materials for project, links, videos, seminars, materials, and so on, so on. Thank you.
Thank you. So, almost finished. Thank you so much